We begin with new images out of Southern California tonight, and this was the scene in the San Fernando Valley earlier tonight as crews stopped a fire that was burning near the Hansen Canyon Dam. With the wind picking up again across the region, crews were quick to attack these flames, and residents are being warned the danger is not over yet.
Please, please, please listen to instructions. If you are told that you are in a warning zone, it would be advised that you actually take that opportunity to leave.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Edie Lambert.
And I'm Golston Dark. Firefighters once again preparing for Santa Ana winds with a red flag warning through tomorrow evening. So I want you to look at the map here. You can see the red flag warnings are in place from San Luis Obispo County down to the southern border, impacting more than potentially 2 million people. This round of Santa Ana winds not expected to be as strong as what we saw last week, but they could carry some fire, sparking embers, and then stoke some new outbreaks. Obviously, no one wants that. Here's a look at the two most destructive fires. The Eaton fire in Altadena has burned more than 14,000 acres. Containment is now at 35%. 17 people have died in this fire.
And the Palisades fire did not grow today. It's burned nearly 24,000 acres, and containment is up slightly tonight to 18%. As of tonight, we know 8 people were killed in this fire. So that brings the total number of fatalities in those two wildfires to 25. The damage is still being assessed, but we know about 12,000 homes and businesses were destroyed in those two largest fires.
KSRA 3's Andrea Flores is at an Altadena neighborhood for us tonight to show us some of the damage from the Eaton fire.
We're here in Altadena as crews continue to comb through blocks and blocks of the city of Altadena that have been completely leveled by the Eaton fire. And we've been here on the ground all day long talking to people who have lost absolutely everything. This is one example of just some of the many neighborhoods where there is absolutely nothing left but things like this: burned out cars, little fragments of homes that were here for decades. We spoke with one woman, Liz Cisneros, and her husband, who have lived in their home for 27 years and came back to find nothing. And she says donations, especially ones from the Red Cross, mean everything to people like her.
It will mean housing, it will mean food, it will mean medical attention if they need it. It will mean so much to everybody, even if it's a small donation. It's something. It shows us that all of California is getting put together once again.
And those donations are so critical to people like the Cisneros family and everyone who has been impacted by the fires. And she actually showed us this video. I want to show you. It's just so heartbreaking. It's the moment that she turns the corner here onto her street and has discovered that her home is a total loss. Take a listen.
Where's this going? Where's this going? Oh my God, you guys.
What did they do?
Breathe.
Remember to breathe.
Breathe. Oh my God. It's okay, breathe.
Just breathe.
Just back out. We've seen enough. Back out.
And it just breaks your heart. You can hear that emotion, that terror, that pain, everything that she's feeling in that moment as they turn that corner here. And that's the story that so many people have been experiencing in Altadena as a result of the Eaton fire. And we know that that pain is going to continue as they continue to cope with the loss and the devastation here in the community. But they do say the support from everyone here in Southern California all the way to Northern California really has made such a huge impact and gets them from one day to the next. We want to send it back to you in the studio, reporting from Altadena.
And we have more on our coverage tonight. People in Southern California on edge now with more of these Santa Ana winds that are forecast right now. Firefighters are preparing to quickly attack any new fires.
Our meteorologist Heather Waldman's been tracking those conditions in Southern California for the past week. How are they looking right now?
Yeah, we're starting to see the winds pick up, and that's going to continue to be the trend through tomorrow morning. Major airports reporting wind gusts of less than 20 miles per hour in most of LA County. So LA and areas southward towards the coast, the wind wind isn't going to be an issue, but the areas you see highlighted in orange and pink, that's our model picking up on wind gusts in the San Gabriel Mountains that are up over 40 miles per hour. The focus tonight and into tomorrow morning is going to be the San Gabriel Mountains and the mountains of Ventura County. So the area of highest winds a little bit farther away from where the Palisades fire has been burning and where the Eaton fire has been burning. Somewhat good news there. The concern is for any new fires that would kick up because look at the wind gusts into tomorrow morning between 40 and 50 miles per hour in a spot like Camarillo or over towards Santa Clarita. By this time tomorrow, the winds will be a lot lighter. They will stay light through the day on Thursday. So really, it's the next 24 hours that are most concerning as far as the winds go. Hopefully those containment lines that crews have built up around those two big fires in LA County will be able to hold. Back to you.
All right, Heather, thank you. As crews continue to fight the flames, a Sacramento search and rescue team is hard at work sifting through the ashes. We have video of the team working today in Pacific Palisades. You can see they are wearing respirators and trudging through piles of debris and burned out neighborhoods. Their task is to search for any human remains and complete the damage assessment at these addresses where homes once stood.
These fires ripped through those neighborhoods. It left chimneys. That's really might be all that's standing. And so from that perspective, there might be houses in various stages of structural compromise that we need to make sure don't collapse when we have people going in and assessing some of that damage.
There's also a massive effort to prevent flare-ups along Pacific Coast Highway. Members of the California Conservation Corps took on this hillside in Santa Monica. This is a crew from Magalia up in Butte County. You can see they scaled that steep incline overlooking the Pacific with their shovels and their saws, cutting away brush and taking down some of the trees there on the edge of the fire zone. If you're looking for a way to help the fire victims, KCRA3 is partnering with the American Red Cross.
Yeah, thousands of Red Cross responders are in LA County right now. They're offering support at shelters, and the money donated is helping to house and feed those people. And of course, much of that money is going for things like food and clothing for people who pretty much lost everything in the fire. Earlier, we spoke with Ryan Ashe with the Red Cross, and he talked about how even a few dollars can make all the difference.
About $60 can provide diapers and wipes and formula for an infant. $200 can provide for a family of 4 to stay in a shelter for just one night. And as you know, this unfortunate tragedy has gone on for about a week, and it's going to continue to do so. So that $200 for that family across 7 days and across the thousands that are impacted, these dollars are going to bring hope to those folks.
So our fundraiser continues at this hour, and here's a look at how much has been donated so far. Nearly $800,000, $796,496. The fundraising is not over. We will continue until 11:30 tonight. To donate, you can call the number you see there on your screen or scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen to help. And a Yolo County restaurant did what it could today to help people and animals impacted by the fire. Yaquis Cantina in Woodland held this donation drive. People asked to bring in everything from work gloves and baby food to dog food and kitty litter. The owner lived in Southern California for years, and she says when she saw the destruction, she had to do something to help.
Woodland's a small town, but I mean, when it comes to stuff like this, they come through. This was only 4 days that we put the ad out. We didn't print out flyers. It was all word of mouth. Social media is kind of how it happened. So I can't imagine if we had more time, but I think, yeah, it's been pretty great to see.
I brought clothes, shoes, pillows, blankets, and since I've been blessed out throughout the years, I could bless other people.
Everyone who brought in a donation got a free taco plate. They plan to hold more of these events later this month. Well, for the second day in a row, state lawmakers canceling its special session hearings in response to incoming President Donald Trump and the LA wildfires. Democratic state leaders are working to approve new money to prepare for legal battles with the incoming Trump administration, as well as provide emergency response and recovery money for people affected by the wildfires. So sources are telling us that after at first planning to have the first hearing this afternoon, lawmakers apparently needed more time to write the legislation. This all comes after Republican lawmakers sounded the alarm this morning that Democrats were planning to place both funding proposals into the same piece of legislation, which state senators last night told us that they were planning to do. But doing that would tie disaster relief
to the approving of efforts to fight incoming President Donald Trump's policies. Governor Gavin Newsom's office says that was not his intention at all, and in a statement, his spokesperson told us the governor never asked for the legislation to be combined. He wants the disaster aid passed on its own and approved swiftly without unnecessary delays.